Okay, this video is about my endometriosis journey. I've had it for as long as I can remember. My first period was in 5th grade, and honestly, I really didn't think much of it except for the fact that I felt like my entire world was ending because the pain was horrible, and I just felt tired and bad, but they told me that's what I had to live with. I mean, this is what being a woman is all about. Needless to say, I wanted to stay a child. But anyway, that was, my first period was really horrible, but I didn't think anything of it. So, as I got older, they definitely got worse, and I was just, and it wasn't just, around my period. I started getting more pain throughout the month, which is pretty common. When I hit my early 20s, things kind of really started going haywire, and I could actually, I intended to move to California, and I ended up moving, and I was hoping that moving would really help with my health, because I know that the sunlight is good for you, and I was in Oregon, and I had seasonal depression to begin with. So being sick and having seasonal depression was really exhausting. So I just decided it's time to pack up. It's time to move. I'll get a job in LA. And let me tell you, there were tons of opportunities. But as soon as I got there, I started getting really, really sick. It was pretty awful. I was in so much pain I would black out. I could hardly get up to go to the bathroom. I went to the ER several times in the course of living in California, and no one knew what was wrong with me. They just knew I didn't have appendicitis, which was nice, but it was a very depressing time, which is sad because I loved it down there. It was beautiful, and it was like, I don't know, it was almost like looking into a snow globe or into a window box and seeing this little world that was perfect and could be perfect, but it was like I was a part of it, but I wasn't, because I was just too sick and too out of it to do anything. So I remember one day I was in California, and I was on my laptop in the living room, and I'm watching the show. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's called Mystery Diagnosis, and each episode has like 2 stories of people who are experiencing horrible medical issues, and it takes them years to get diagnosed. So anyway, this girl, and she's in her 20s, she's my age, and she's talking about how she was going through all this stuff, and the symptoms, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is me, this is everything I'm going through. So in the end, they're like, she was diagnosed with endometriosis, and I just started crying because I'm just like, this is it. I knew there's something wrong. I knew that I had something that just wasn't normal. I mean, I shouldn't be experiencing this. I shouldn't have this much pain or not be able to have a job. So that's when the doctor quest began. And let me tell you something. You need the doctor the most when you are at your worst. However, when you're at your worst, you can't work and you can't get health insurance. So you have to settle for, when a serious emergency, you gotta go to the ER. Either that or, die at home or something, which I think people do, which is sad because they have no money. So anyway, I had no health insurance. I'm going to whatever doctors I possibly can, racking up medical bills, and they're telling me, you don't have endometriosis. So I start talking to specialists, and I figure they won't be jackasses and they'll actually listen to me. So the specialist said, absolutely, you have all the symptoms, I want you to come in for a lap. I'm just like, that's something I just couldn't do. You can't afford a lab, you can't afford the surgery. Some of them went up front, payment, and I don't blame them. A gynecologist I just don't trust because I've had too many friends with endometriosis get surgery from gynecologists, and they're in more pain, or it regrows. You want someone that knows what they're doing. Endometriosis is a very complicated disease. It doesn't just grow in, your reproductive system. It can grow in your bowels and on your kidneys. And, I heard of someone that even having it take over some of her blood supply in her leg, in lungs, and it's a horrible illness. It's not just oh, sorry, you can't have kids because you have endometriosis. It's, no, sorry, you are in horrible pain, and they will give you the strongest narcotics they possibly can, and it won't do a thing. That's what endometriosis is. It takes over your entire life. It takes over your health. It takes over your job. It takes over your marriage, because one of the really absolute, most horrible issues with endometriosis is painful sex. And a lot of women don't feel comfortable talking about it. So I think a lot of women have turned down their husbands, and they haven't told them why, which is, it makes things complicated. And even when a guy understands, and even when a woman says something, you live in this fear that they're going to be like, I can't take this anymore. I just want out, and men have left their wives after 20, 30 years because the health issues are just too much for them. And it invades your life, essentially. It takes over. You lose friends. Family is tired of dealing with your illness. You have people that just think you're a bum. I'm sure I have friends in the family that think I'm a bum. And it sucks. Because more than anything, I just want to be absolutely sure every day I can go out and have a life. You have to plan your life around it, too. I mean, this is how endometriosis works. You could be feeling great for a week, and then as soon as you make plans, that day is when you get sick. It's so random. So, but the thing about endometriosis, it's not a death sentence. I think that's what I found the most about endometriosis is in the very beginning I just thought, I have to have surgery, otherwise nothing can be done, and I'm just going to live like this in pain my entire life. Well, I just did the things that I knew to do at the time. I got Mirena. I kind of wish I hadn't got Mirena, but at the time I was having month-long periods. Literally, I would have a period, then maybe 1 or 2 days break, and then I would have a period again. And this was the only thing I could do at the time. So at the time, that's what I did. On Mirena, I found out I couldn't get rid of the pain. So instead of continuing to take the medication they gave me, or taking up their offer to have medical marijuana, which I didn't want to do, I decided to start eating more holistically. I changed my diet. It's been a long, hard road removing a lot of things. I cannot eat gluten anymore. I keep my sugar low. I don't eat much processed foods, just a lot of vegetables. Vegetables are good. I've always loved them, but it's a lot of sacrifices. But I know there'll come a day that my periods will be more manageable, because I got my Mirena removed in May. So I'm on my second period now, which explains why my face looks so big. I hate that. So that's another fun thing about Mirena, or not Mirena, but endometriosis. So anyway, I think there will be a day where I can actually control these periods to an extent. It won't be long and horrible and heavy. The pain's not as bad as it was, so I know with a lot of work, maybe in 3 to 6 months, I'll feel healthy, and I might be able to work. I mean, 6 years ago, I couldn't move, I probably wouldn't be making this video. I would just be laying in bed. scared for where my life is going. And sometimes I still am, and sometimes I still have that fear. But I don't want to give up. I never want to give up. I feel like there is a light at the end of that tunnel, and I don't have to get hacked up or take medication or give in to what this disease is doing to me. I feel like I can beat the disease. This endometriosis and all my health issues do not define me. They might impact my life to change what I do, but they aren't who I am. And I feel like it would be really easy to just lay back and give up, but I can't give up. It's not in my nature, and I don't think it's in anyone's nature. I just feel like they need to find a glimmer of hope. And I don't have the option of giving up either. I'm in sales, and I do buy my own groceries. I pay my bills. I just don't have that option. And even if I could, I don't want someone taking care of me. I want to do for myself. So, maybe I'll update this sometime, and let you know how things are going. But I just want to talk to those with endometriosis real quick and say, don't give up. Just keep going. Keep going and eat healthy. Try and keep an active lifestyle, even when it sucks, even when you don't want to get out of bed. So the days that you can be active, and you can do it. Okay, you're not endometriosis, and endometriosis doesn't have you. So that's me signing off.